The filter-free diary. Uh,
Good evening. It's 7:01 and I got my period today. Real. I'm excited about that because everything's working out. There's enough water pressure that everything is doing the thing that I like it to do, which is just to be gone. and there's very little cramping. Last time there was significant cramping, and every time before that no cramping at all. So I'm used to no cramps, but given last time and the severe dehydration, I'm definitely okay with just a teeny tiny amount of cramps. Is great. Because not for nothing, you know, cramps are when your muscles are dehydrated, right? And I'm trying to drink all the water. I really am. I feel like it's just doing its thing. But we're definitely getting there because I feel like this is working out. And actually, what the challenge was if I could explain salt. And I think I can explain salt. And not for nothing, I'm like, can you see what this says? Do you see that says paprika? Anyways, whoop. I don't want to drop them. This is my source of salt right now. Salt and fat. And I think I can explain salt because in college we use salt a whole lot because it's an ion. And the cool thing about, you know, ions and salt specifically is that they can come together, the two pieces of salt, because salt is a two-piece thing. They can come together and be a solid, stable, solid thing. Like table salt. You know, like you can see the crystals of the salt in there. You can see them. But put them in water. Put salt inside the water. And the water has such polarity to it, right? Because water has a positive side and a negative side. The two hydrogen are the positive side, and then they kind of are next to each other, and then the big old oxygen is the negative side that's just bare with no connectors on it. And this is probably going to get too much into chemistry, and I'm trying to make it light. I'm sorry. But the reason why it matters is because once water is able to pull apart the two ions that make up the salt, you can do all kinds of things with salt. And not for nothing, that is how we move our body around. I don't know if you know that, but the muscles in our bodies, the muscles in my mouth, require ions because it's like a light switch in there, right? You flip on the switch and all of a sudden the muscle pulls. You relax the switch and all of a sudden the muscle releases. You know what I mean? And that's what salt does. Salt facilitates movement. Oh, fucking with the P. There are goats. What is it, Yellowstone National Park? I think it is Yellowstone. Fucking A. There are goats, and goats need, all animals need salt. You need salt to move the mechanic that is your body. And there are these goats that'll actually, when they think they see a human in the park that is about to pee, they come on over because they want to drink the pee. Why? Not because they're sick, even though that is sick. They do it because of all the ions that are coming out. The weird thing we do with our body is we take in salt, we use it to flip our switches, and then we have to get rid of it once it doesn't work anymore. And when it doesn't work and isn't as useful anymore, we do pee it out. And that's why you have salts in your pee, and that's why it's yellow. And not for nothing, that is the exact stuff that the plants and the earth needs. And it's fucking weird, but the whole idea of the holy man, saying that we are the salt of the earth. And when it is no longer salty, when it loses its flavor, it's only good to be crushed underfoot. They weren't talking about melting the fucking snow. That's not what they were talking about. They were talking about when you can't use your salt anymore because it's not effective. It isn't moving the water. It isn't moving your muscle switches. It isn't even facilitating your brain and your thoughts. Potassium is a salt. I'm not sure if you know that, but that's how they're called neurons, but they're basically your brain wires. They're just organic brain wires. But that's how they move. That's how they function. That's how they send thoughts and ideas along, is with salt. And when the salt is not salty anymore, when the salt has lost its flavor, we flush it out and give it back to the earth. And does it end up in the ocean? I don't fucking know. It might end up in the ocean. But it definitely ends up in the minerals and in the rocks, and the goats try to get it and the trees love it. But it's not good for us. Salt is a worker. Salt is a doer. Salt helps this planet and the things on it facilitate their function. That's the deal with salt. Have a good evening.